everybody. I'm back again today for a little bit of a story time, and I brought my puppy Kenai here. Say hi, Kenai. Okay. Hopefully he'll listen to our story today. Today's story is not so much for babies and toddlers and preschoolers, but more for kindergartners and up, and especially parents. We're all home together still, and we'll be home together for a couple more weeks. So I thought this would be a good time to talk about the bucket philosophy and how we all carry an invisible bucket with us all around every day. And when our bucket is full, we have good thoughts and feelings about ourselves. And when our bucket is empty, we're not feeling so good about ourselves. So this story, this one is How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids. We're not going to read this today, we're going to read this one. But it really helps us be mindful of how we can fill other people's buckets and how also we can keep our buckets full so we can take care of other people. Okay, so here we go. This is called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? A Guide to Daily Happiness for Kids. All day long, everyone in the world, the whole world wide, walks around carrying an invisible bucket. You can't see it, but it's there. You have a bucket. Each member of your family has a bucket. Your grandparents, your friends, and neighbors all have buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. Your bucket has only one purpose and one purpose only. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and your good feelings about yourself. You feel happy and good when your bucket is full. And you feel sad and lonely when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. They're happy when their buckets are full, and they're sad when their buckets are empty. It's great to have a full bucket, and this is how it works. Other people can fill your bucket, and you can fill theirs. You can fill your own bucket too. So, how do you fill a bucket? You fill a bucket when you show love to someone, when you say or do something kind, or even when you give someone a smile. That's being a bucket filler. She's sharing her umbrella and she's smiling. Look, she's filling her bucket because she's making her feel happy. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says and does nice things to make others feel special. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you fill their bucket. Here's the little girl giving the lady some flowers. And look, her bucket is filling. And her bucket is filling too because she feels good about herself for doing something nice for somebody. But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of someone, when you say or do mean things, or even when you ignore someone. That's bucket dipping. Looks like they aren't being very nice. They're pointing at her, and her bucket's dripping. Her good feelings are leaving. Bullying is bucket dipping. When you hurt others, you dip into their bucket, and you will dip into your own bucket too when you're mean. Many people who dip have an empty bucket. They may think they can fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's, but that will never work. You never fill your own bucket when you dip into someone else's. But guess what? When you fill someone's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. You feel good when you help others feel good. All day long, we are either filling up or we're dipping into each other's buckets by what we say and what we do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. You love your mom and dad. Why not tell them you love them? You can even tell them why. Your caring words will fill their bucket with joy. See, he's whispering something in Mommy's ear. Watch for smiles to light up their faces. you will feel like smiling too. A smile is a good clue that you have filled a bucket. If you practice, you'll become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket and think of what you can say or do to fill it. Here are some ideas for you. You could smile and say hi to the bus driver or the post person. He has a bucket too. You could invite the new kid at school to play with you. You could write a thank you note or just a note to your teacher. You could tell your grandpa that you like spending time with him. There are many ways to fill a bucket. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't take much time. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. When you're a bucket filler, you make your home, your school, and your neighborhood better places for all. Bucket filling makes everyone feel good. So why not decide to be a bucket filler today and every day? Just start each day by saying to yourself, I'm going to do something to fill someone's bucket today. And at the end of each day, ask yourself, did I fill a bucket today? Yes, I did. That's the life of a bucket filler, and that's you. So we did a couple things at our house. We cut out some buckets out of paper, but you also can use a sand bucket, or maybe you just have decorative buckets around. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But it helps us really think about what we're saying and doing with the family we have around them. And we need to ask ourselves, are we filling people's buckets in our house or our community or with our neighborhood, or are we emptying them? So I asked my family that is in our house right now, that we're quarantined together, some different ways we fill buckets. And I actually had some things I put down that they helped me fill my bucket. And some of them that made me feel really happy that they did. And I'll read them to you. I cut them out on little ring, like we're putting water in the bucket. So this is how they filled my bucket. They helped me with a chore, and I think that chore was helping with dinner. Somebody emptied the dishwasher. That really fills my bucket. It makes me very happy. They took care of their laundry. That made me very happy. That filled my bucket. They drew a picture. And they made a note, and they sent it to Grandma and Grandpa in the mail because we can't really see them right now. They went into the kitchen and made some cookies to share with the rest of the family. They smiled and said thank you. That's an easy thing to do, to fill somebody's bucket. Just smile, say thank you. And another one, they did the dishes. So if you want to, and I can post a couple things when I post this video for the story time, find a bucket, cut out some paper or however you want to do it, and think of some ways that you had your bucket filled and how you could fill somebody else's bucket. And you can even make one for each person in your family. You can put their names on it and you can hang them up. And when someone does something that fills their bucket or fills your bucket, you can just add it to it. And we can see how many we have by the end of the day or by the end of the week. But just thinking about this really helps us be mindful of what we're saying and doing with our families, and also things that are bucket dipping and empty our buckets by maybe not saying things that are so nice. So I hope you enjoyed our story today. Have you filled a bucket today? And you could also look for how full is your bucket for kids. Let's see how many buckets we can fill this week for our family members, our school, our community, and in the world. Thanks, everybody. Say goodbye, Kenai. Say goodbye.